Hello everyone and welcome back to our second lecture of Unit 4. In the last lecture we have dealt with different methods of evaluations in group discussions. Okay, so now we will deal with seminar and conference presentation skills. So let's see what are the seminar and conference presentation skills should have, because we are dealing with all kinds of skills. So while going for a seminar or a conference, make sure you have to keep in mind all these 5 points which are written here. The first one is finding presentation opportunities. Okay, second is planning for conference attendance, then preparing the presentation, rehearsing the presentation, and keeping track of audience questions and feedback. So while you are getting ready for a seminar or a conference, the first and the most important thing is you have to find a presentation opportunity, that means related to your topic. What Where you can go, where you can present yourself, that is the most important thing. Okay, so first of all, find that opportunity. You can find it on the websites also, you can find it through your friends or through your relatives also, or by your colleagues. Okay, so you can find it that where the presentations are going on, and if the presentation if the seminar and the conference is related to your topic, then definitely you can apply for that thing. Okay, second comes planning for conference attendance. Now while you are you have applied for the seminar or conference, you should be well aware of that where that particular conference is taking place. So if the place is nearby, that is well, and if it is very far from your place, then please you have to plan accordingly, like how you will go, then how you will move to a particular conference, where the location is. So just plan it accordingly, because that is also very important. Planning for conference attendance, definitely you have to keep a check whether you have registered for the conference or not, whether the last date is there or deadline is over. So you have to check all these things. Then if you are going very far, then whether they will give you travel allowances, some kind of funding is there or not. So just check it well before you move to any conference. Okay, make sure, keep all these things in advance. So just plan accordingly that what transport is required, how you will move to that particular location. Then next is preparing the presentation. Now preparing the presentation definitely says that while you are going for a conference to present your paper or to present the topic, then definitely you have to prepare it in advance. Now how you will prepare, you have to be ready with all your slides, all your ppts if they are there, or the way you are actually presenting. So keep track of that thing, that it should be there, should be ready with you well in advance. You should be ready with all kinds of notes, they are called uh, the presenter notes. Okay, so be ready with all those notes. This is the way you can prepare. Next is rehearsing the presentation. While you have prepared your presentation, just rehearse it again and again, because that is also very important. The more you will rehearse, the more you will give the presentation in an appropriate and accurate way. Okay, so you have to rehearse it again and again. Now keeping track of audience questions and feedback. While you give the presentation, always remember to take the audience questions and feedback. Okay, because this is the only way to find out how your presentation was. Okay, so be ready with the questions, give them the answers, be ready with their feedbacks, what they expect from you. So this is how you can prepare well for your presentations. Now next comes argumentation skills. See, argument is also kind of skill here, but I would like to say one thing here, that many people have a misconception regarding argument. They think that when you yell on others, okay, when you are just speak in a very high pitch, in a high language, then that is called argument. No, not at all. Always remember, argumentation skills doesn't mean that. It simply means that you are actually giving a you can say you are giving a proof for a particular claim which is made by you. Okay, so that is called argument means when you give some kind of proof, or some kind of yes, proof for a claim that you have made. Okay, that is called argument. Okay, so always remember, when we are giving this argument, when we are doing this argument, you don't have to you don't have to raise your pitch, okay? You don't have to fight with others, because argument doesn't mean that. Now there are 5 principles of developing a good argument, how you can make a good argument which does not seems to be like a fight, okay? So remember one thing, the first one is structure. See what structure means. Structure means when you are giving a proof related to some claim, then it should be well structured. Well structured means it should be well formed argument. You should be ready with all kinds of things, okay? For example, if I say that whether the conclusion, whether you are moving to a particular conclusion, and if your argument, that means if the proof is not in a particular way, then definitely you will not reach to any conclusion. So structure should be made good. That means the way you want to argument should be in such a way that you move to a particular conclusion related to your claims, okay? Then second comes relevance. See, when you are arguing with someone, that means, again I am saying arguing doesn't mean that you have to fight, okay? So when you are arguing with someone, you are putting your claims, okay? And that should be related to the claim made by you. That means the way you are putting your proof as a claim to the first claim, related to the first claim, that both claims should be related to each other. If there is no relevance, it is wastage of making any kind of argument there, because suppose you are claiming something and your proof doesn't match with it, it's of no use, okay? Next comes acceptability. Please make sure that while you are giving the claims, that means the proof related to a claim, if you are providing that, it is acceptable or not, that is also very important, okay? You have to keep track of all the things, whether your claim is good or not. Suppose if I say that what things are acceptable and what things are not acceptable. So first, the standards we say, if something is acceptable, if your claims are acceptable, then what are those claims and what are the premises of acceptability? Remember, first point is a claim that matter, I mean to say a claim that is matter of undisputed knowledge, that is acceptable, okay? That means if you are claiming something which is completely undisputed, then definitely it is acceptable, okay? Second thing is a claim that is confirmed by one's own personal experiences, then that is also acceptable, okay? So this kind of claim is acceptable. Third is, you can say that if a relatively minor claim is there, okay, if you are making some kind of very minor claim and if it seems to be reasonable, okay, on the context of the argument, then definitely it is acceptable. What are the claims which are not acceptable? See, definitely all the points which are acceptable, contradictory to that will not be acceptable. That means if the claim is not based on any evidence, if the claim is not based on your past experiences, that is not acceptable. That means what? It should be very well observation is not there, so they will definitely not, no one will accept those claims. Second thing is that if any claim is contradict to any legitimate thing, then definitely it is not acceptable. Legitimate things means with the thing which is legal, and if your claim is completely opposite to something which is in a legal way, so definitely it is not acceptable. So these are the things which you can say that it is not acceptable, okay? So make sure while giving an argument, while giving a claim, you have to be very clear with that it should be relevant, it should have a proper structure, and it should be acceptable by the others, okay? Now next comes sufficiency. Now what is sufficiency? Sufficiency means your claim should be sufficient to you can say that your argument, to support your argument, okay? If you are claiming something, it should support your argument, it should be relevant to that, and it should be acceptable by everyone, then it is sufficient. Even a single claim is sufficient for that thing, okay? So remember this thing, that if your claims will is ready with all kinds of approvals, all kinds of relevance, then definitely it is sufficient for the argument to prove it. Okay. Next comes a rebuttal. Now what is rebuttal? Now I am telling you, effective rebuttal means it is a serious criticism. Okay, rebuttal means when someone revert back to your claims. Okay, so if there is a reverse back of your claim, if someone is saying that, then this is, it should also be acceptable in that way. That means someone is you made a kind of question and someone is giving you the answer, it is of that kind. Okay, so this is also very important. While you are making an argument, it should not have any kind of rebuttal in nature, you can say, because if someone is just crossing or just cancelling it out all your claims, then your claims actually doesn't support your argument. Okay, that is the main thing. Now next point that we come is cohesion, coherence and emphasis. This cohesion, coherence and emphasis is normally used in a well written passage. Okay, if you have written a passage, then please make sure these 3 points should be there. That means a well written passage requires more than one passage together. Okay, that means a passage means what? If you are writing one sentence, two sentences, and when you combine those sentences, then that becomes a passage. So a good passage only, a passage is said to be good only when all the sentences are good. Every sentence good, that means the whole passage is good. Okay, so always remember. So while writing sentences, make sure that there should be a cohesion in that, there should be a coherence in that, and there should be very much emphasis. What cohesion means? That is sense of connection and flow. When you are writing a sentence, first sentence should have a sense of connection with the second sentence. Okay, second sentence should have a connection with the third sentence. So in that way a flow comes. Okay, and the whole passage looks beautiful. That is the most important thing. Then comes coherence. Now in case of coherence, I will say sense of overall topic of the passage. That means it should be coherent, it should have a you can say the passage should look very good in that case. Okay, so coherence is also very important. Now emphasize sense of what is most important. You, when you are writing a passage, always remember you should underline, or you, like we make some bold letters, we just beautify some points. Okay, so that means you are actually emphasizing on a particular point or on particular sentence. So that sense should be there, that what is very important in this one passage, and that should be there. So you have to emphasize on that particular passage. Okay, so I just rest it here. Next we will do in the next video. Thank you very much.